As the 2023-2024 NBA season comes to an end, we have some very memorable moments caused by some very memorable players. We've seen guys rise into young superstars with dominant performances, and we've seen old dogs take a backseat on their roster in what could be dubbed a down year. Today we rank the top 10 players in the NBA going into the next season, and this ranking will include postseason success, but it will not be overly weighed into the decision. Someone like Giannis, who has not played in the postseason, is not going to be left off my top 10 list. As always, now is a good time to remind you guys that these are my opinions, and I encourage you to tell me what I'm wrong about and what you might agree with in the comments below. Without further ado, let's waste no more time, get right into this with number 10, Kawhi Leonard. For me, Kawhi is easily a top 7 player when he's healthy. This year, he was selected to the All-NBA second team, playing 68 out of the 82 games this last season, which is very great for his standard the last few seasons in LA. However, he was injured with another MCL tear in this postseason, causing the Clippers to fizzle out very early to the inevitable finals berth to Dallas Mavericks. Kawhi gets his ranking so high for what he does on both sides of the ball. His efficiency, his ability to score wherever he wants on pretty much anyone. This season he averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists with 2 steals a night, and shot over 50% from the field and over 40% from behind the arc. The Claw is rightfully where he belongs inside this top 10. At number 9, this one may be controversial depending on where you lie, but I have LeBron James. Bron had a very interesting season full of ups and downs. He averaged 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists, playing 71 games a night, but from a fan's perspective, what's most impressive to me is that last season he shot 32% from behind the arc, and this season he shot 41% on over 7 attempts a night. Love him, hate him, I don't care. That's a very, very impressive stat, especially for someone his age. It shows that you're never too old to adapt to the game. Al Horford, Brook Lopez know a ton about that. The reason Bron is so low on this list for me is because I, like other fans outside of LA people, can see the ceiling every single season. I understand that he's just not in a place where he can do it all. He's not the man he used to be, and that is totally okay. His defense has slowed down, his patience for the officials are waning, and honestly, he's still a hell of a player. He just is not a top 5 guy anymore. Maybe in the postseason he can be that, but he should be allowing Anthony to run this ship, and he should just be the help where it's needed. But the Lakers supporting cast can't really decide on their role, and LeBron James sees this and then he tries to do everything. His rating also is not helped by the fact that he's 1-8 in his last 9 playoff games, as the Nuggets have kind of been owning the Lakers the last 2 seasons. Anywho, 9 is for LBJ. At number 8, we have Mr. Potential Finals MVP himself, Jayson Tatum. I think the hate JT receives is very interesting. Here are the stats of 2 players. Green is Jason and Maroon is Mystery Man. Jason averages more points, more rebounds, shoots a better 3-point percentage, won more games the regular season, and played just about the same amount of games in the regular season, while Mystery Man shoots a better field goal percentage and averages more assists. Want to take a guess who the Mystery Man is? Well, if you didn't guess, that is 2016 LeBron James. The Cavaliers won 57 games that year, and all season long were dubbed a super team, and I think we can kind of safely say they were a super team as they made the finals 3 years in a row. The argument that JT puts up these great stats only because he's on a great team is so weird to me. All winners play on great teams. It's not Tatum's fault that Brad Stevens cooked so hard. JT has to be one of the most polished players in the NBA, and this is just the truth. Has he underperformed in the finals this season and in 22? Yes, I would definitely say so, but that's not something we should hold against him until the Celtics lose another finals appearance. At number 7, we have Kevin Durant. KD knocked my socks off this year, as he kind of does it every single season since that Achilles tear. Did he get swept in the first round? Yes, that's why he's number 7 and not in my top 5. However, at 36 years young, he averaged 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, a block, and over 50% from the field and over 40% from downtown. Bucket getter are the 2 words everyone and their mama should use to describe 35. He's polished, he's agile, he's talented as it gets, and Kevin's defense also is not spoken about enough. He's more than a serviceable rim protector for his age and position and his skinniness. Before he tore his Achilles, I'd say he was an elite rim protector at that. This was a weird season for Phoenix, as Bradley kind of soiled himself all seasons with poor performances and injuries, and then had a double flusher in the postseason, as in that elimination game he fouled out, did not perform, missed, I think he was 0 for 6 from 3-point land. Next year I'll be able to make a better conclusion on the Suns and Kevin, but for now 7 is where 35 lies. At number 6, I very, very generously have Joel Embiid. I think easily JoJo could be on the brink of your top 10. Like, if you had Joel at 10, 9, 8, 7, I wouldn't complain, I wouldn't bicker, none of that. Most people would abuse the recency bias and have Jalen Brunson or Anthony Edwards here instead of Joel, and truth to be told, I almost had Brunson on this list, but I can't base 15 playoff games Like, I can't stack up 82 regular season games versus 15 playoff games. I know Joel was hurt, and this might not make too much sense, but for me right now, going into next season, Brunson is probably 10 or 11 or 12 for me. Him and Anthony Davis are like on the very close outskirts of the top 10. Anywho, I don't love Joel's game. He flops, he cries, but he gets buckets. He just cannot stay healthy for the life of him. But when he's out there, Philly's very good. The issue is that they haven't won anything in a while, and he hasn't really even been in the conference finals. The East is getting tougher day by day, and this season, the Knicks, the Pacers, obviously Philly was injured too, but the Miami Heat, all these teams were very injured. If there was ever a time for him to get an Eastern Conference Finals berth, it was this season. Joel just continues to slip down these rankings. Before the season, people probably had him at number 1. I know I didn't, but I know a lot of people who did. Anyways, JoJo, keep manipulating the free throw line. I really do not mind. Just please stay healthy. At number 5, we have S30. Steph just does not need a long story. He's the best shooter of all time, immensely talented off the ball, great leader, and a winner for the same franchise for 15 years. 4 NBA championships, finals MVP, hasn't slowed down a bit. This season, Wiggs, Clay, and Dre were for sure sinking the ship that is Golden State. Steve Kerr also was not a great head coach this season. I'd rank Steph even higher if I could, but that is not how reality works. At number 4, this was a very hard decision, but I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now hear me out, I would on any day of the week put Giannis at number 2. I truly believe he is the second best player in basketball. However, he was hurt. He did not play a single minute of postseason basketball, and the only people I have above him were people who played and performed at the highest level. Next season, Giannis will be back, and he will be in the top 3, so please fear not. At number 3, just barely beating Giannis, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and this is solely based on the fact that he dominated the Mavericks defense like no one could. I mean, it shows the levels between a man like Shai and a man like Anthony Edwards. Shai pierced them. He left them clueless. He took over down the stretch. If he didn't foul PJ on that 3, who knows? We might be seeing the Thunder in the finals. We don't play what ifs around here, but it's just interesting to talk about. Shai impressed me so much this postseason. He nearly averaged a 30-point triple-double with a very efficient leadership style as well. This kid will be an MVP in this league soon. At number 2, this one will probably get me a lot of hate, but again, I ask you to leave your hate in the comments below. Luka Doncic is number 2. Luka isn't quite the best player in the world to me yet. He truly is a phenom. He's an offensive masterclass on any given night, but 40% from the free throw line in the NBA Finals, and the highest blow-by percentage in NBA Finals is diabolical. He's also fouling out in crunch time in very big games. It just seems like his head isn't quite there yet to be an NBA Finals MVP, be an NBA champion, and that's totally okay. He still is very young. I mean, this dude is literally a traffic cone on defense, though. However, he's a traffic cone who wins, and he hits big-time shots. I think his mentality, it hasn't quite adjusted yet to be the number 1 man in the world. He just doesn't have that, the roll it off my back, roll it off my shoulders, get it back on defense type of mentality that someone like Giannis or number 1 Nikola Jokic does. Nikola is the greatest basketball player in the world. I don't need to explain myself. Yes, he lost to the Wolves in 7 games, but as repeating NBA champions is one of the hardest things a group of men can do, and the key word in that statement is group. Jokic was ready for that moment. He did perform, but MPJ, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, KCP, they all sort of crumbled in games 6 and 7, and that's okay because fatigue is a very powerful thing. What do you guys think of this list? Who do you have higher? Who do you have lower? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far, I appreciate your support as always. Hope you all have a great weekend. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.